Hi everyone, thanks for coming today. I'm glad I showed up. I work at Canberra Data Centres. We're now branded as CDC Data Centres, and I'll talk a little bit more about why. I'm going to start with boring you with a bit of a story about how we started, because this is sort of a startup forum and it's relevant. And it was a brainchild of my now CEO and founder, Greg Bora. He was actually supposed to be here tonight, by the way, so I got told this afternoon that I was coming instead. It's a great story though, it's really interesting. It started when he was working in data centres for banking and finance institutions across Europe and the US, all very highly secure and very highly important institutions. He was actually at the time following his now wife around the cycling circuit through Germany. She was a world champion cyclist. Can you imagine being one of their kids right now? High pressure. Moved to Australia to start that family, and in that process he got exposed to some of the Australian government data centres. They were pretty poor examples of critical infrastructure. They were often retrofitted buildings in basements, they fell over all the time, and to give you an example of what fall over means, when you have an outage in a data centre, one of our government departments, when we met them, was experiencing 2 to 3 outages a year, and they were costing the Australian people $50 million per occasion. So it's a pretty serious thing when a data centre falls over. So Greg had this great idea, let's build data centres for government. The government went, nah, I like my data centre right here, I have to touch it, I have to be able to go into it whenever I want. It's just never going to happen, and I really don't want to be in a data centre with that government agency. Blows your mind, right? Anyway, today we have more than 50 government agencies in our data centres. We've got, I should show you some of my pictures. We've got 5 buildings here in Canberra with the 6th on its way, and what started as a startup, 5 guys putting their home on the line, and that's what Greg says is his greatest sale of the day. It's convincing those 4 other guys to put their homes on the line and back him to create this business has paid off, that's for sure. 24/7, it's actually 24/7, 365 for us. We cannot turn off ever. If we turn off, people don't get their pensions, Medicare payments don't go through. We actually have a glip in GDP. So what we do is really important. We invest heavily in technology. We do study tours all around the world to make sure that we're doing it better than everybody else, because it matters to Australian people. What we do is national critical infrastructure today. So we take it very seriously. We invest in amazing technology, stuff that you see in the greatest places around the world, to make sure that you and I never have an outage and we can operate 24/7, 365. Operational excellence is our primary focus. If we don't do it as well as we can, we all suffer as a result. The other sort of non-negotiable lenses that we approach our data centres from is obviously security. Not just anyone can walk in the door. Second is compliance. We obviously have to tick a lot of boxes to be able to do business with government, especially business of this sort of critical nature. The other one is uptime. What we do to make sure we don't ever turn off. As it says there, job diversity, obviously there's people that do work 24/7, there's got to be people that are on call, so if something goes wrong, we're at the data centre making sure that nothing ever turns off. Then there's the people like me that work 24/7 in a totally different way. I'll be up all night writing tenders or responding to emails from clients. So we've got quite a diverse range of people that work for us, highly technical to not so technical. And we'll talk about that. So this is where we started, Hume 1 and 2. Pretty pictures, some really awesome buildings. They are really awesome. My card's out the front if you ever want to come and visit. This is the next step. We've actually just bought a massive site in Sydney and building our next. We've got great sites here in Canberra that have done a world of good for government, but now we need to diversify. They want something a little bit further away than Canberra sites. So this is going to be an incredible development and look like this once we're done. And as you can imagine, this is not very cheap. And why do we do all of this? It's because the conversation isn't anymore just about uptime. It's not just about never turning off. It's about the data. Who owns the data? Where's the data going? How do we share it? How do we access it 24/7? So we've had to build our ecosystem from just a government-focused environment to a partnership environment, bringing on the big beasts like Microsoft, all the way down to the small partners that will work with us to make sure that government and the people get everything that they need.